Hello, my furniture flippin' friends, and welcome into Lemons to Lemonade Furniture. My name is Kara, and this channel is all about finding thrifted furniture on the cheap and flipping it into something creative and unique for a profit. Everybody's got bills to pay, and this is how I pay mine. I'm dreaming of a Disney-inspired desk today, so let's see if I can make my dreams a reality. Come on along. I found this piece on Facebook Marketplace. It's in really great shape and didn't need anything fixed on it, which is really rare these days. The lady was moving out of state and needed it gone, so I picked it up for a really great price. Now let's see what I can do with this. Now these poles are in really great condition, but I'm dreaming of something a lot more fancy for a Disney desk. So we're gonna take these off, but I'm gonna set them to the side because I bet I'll use these again. Before I can start, this has got to be cleaned. So I'm going to use my good old standby Simple Green. I've got some warm water mixed up in my bucket over there. I'm going to give this thing a really good scrub inside and out, just so it makes the perfect surface for me to start my dream design. I usually let that Simple Green sit for a minute once I have it on because it starts to eat through like the furniture polish that's been used. This piece was very lovingly cared for in someone's home, and it has got a lot of furniture polish built up on it. So I want that Simple Green to do its job, and that means a lot less scrubbing for me. I covered the desk in Simple Green and started wiping it back after about 3 minutes with some warm water. I'll go over this one more time with warm water only just to make sure all the Simple Green is off. Once it's clean on the outside, I'll start taking everything apart so I can clean the inside. See if I can get all the way back in there. There's a lot of junk back in those drawers. Definitely need to vacuum them out and get those clean. No money though, but lots of junk. Since I know I'm not going to be keeping the hardware, I've got to fill in these hardware holes. So I'm going to go in with some painter's tape in the back of these, just so when I put in the wood fill, it doesn't go all the way through. Like, it kind of gives me an idea where the stopping point is. So let's get these taped up really quick. Honest moment of truth, I do not care for this wood fill that I am about to use on the drawer pulls. But I'm really big on using what I have before I go buy more. So I'm going to use this up, but I'm going to link what I actually like down in the video description. So if you're interested, be sure to check this out. This isn't my favorite. My wood fill is dry, and now on to the next step. I need to sand this so that it has a little bit of tooth so my paint is gonna adhere nicely. So I've got my Makita orbital sander, I've got a 180 grit sanding pad on here, and I'm gonna give everything a nice scuff sand. Okay, I've gotten everything that's flat with my orbital sander. Now, I'm sure you've noticed all the curves that are on this. So I'm gonna switch over to my Surf Prep sander. This has got that squishy foam abrasive that I'm gonna be able to put on there. Let's try this again. That I'm gonna be able to put on there. And see, it's like, that way it's gonna move around those curves. Because I don't want to flatten, like especially these little angles that are on the drawers, the details on the feet. If I go over that with an orbital, I risk sort of flattening those details, and I don't want to do that. I'm just going through with the Surf Prep to make sure everything has got a good scuff sand on it before we can get started on the next step. I just love how my Surf Prep will get into all the curves and edges of the feet and the legs. Anything that I'm using today is going to be linked below in the video description. If you hadn't noticed, this desk is really red. So I'm painting it a light color today, probably going to have bleed through issues. That's been like the story of my life the last few months. It seems like every piece I do, I'm gonna have to prime. But sometimes it really helps to make sure that when you're selling a piece, that your client is not gonna have bleed through issues down the line. So when in doubt, always prime it. So I'm using my Sherwin-Williams shellac primer in the purple can. That's the one that I really like. And then I'm using a small roller with a 3/8 inch nap. For the details I couldn't get into with the roller, I'm using a chip brush just to make sure everything is covered. Once my 2 coats of primer are dry, I use my Surf Prep 3x4 raised sander with a 220 sanding grit pad just to knock down any bits and bumps that would be left on the surface and make it feel sort of uneven or a rough texture. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. I have got 2 coats of primer on this one, and I've sanded it smooth both times after each application to just ensure that this is completely smooth on the top. Primer is thick and kind of chunky, and sometimes it comes out, and especially when you roll it with a roller, it tends to have just a little bit of texture to it, and I don't want that at all on this desk. I want it to be really smooth for this look that I'm going for today. So I've got 2 coats of primer so I don't have any bleed through issues. Hopefully. I don't know if you saw my last video, but man, I had tons of bleed through issues on that one, so I'm hoping that this one can be totally avoided. Now I've got my paint loaded into my gravity fed HVLP spray gun, and for today's project I have chosen the color Darling by Country Chic Paint. So this is just a really light pink, just a barely blush pink, and it is so pretty when it is on. Just a light touch of that pink color, which I absolutely love. It's not overboard at all. I don't know, I have a vision for this one. I kind of want to make it like Disney, little girl room, but also it can be perfect for a grown-up. I don't know, we'll see what happens with this, but I've got this loaded in my gravity-fed HVLP sprayer, and we're almost ready to go.
This color Darling by Country Chic Paint is the perfect color for what I have in mind today. I love how it's just faintly pink. It's not over the top in any way. And just know if you use this color, when you put the top coat on this, it's going to pinken up even more. So I know it looks like it's just sort of white and maybe blending in with my primer right now, but it's about to get a little more pink once I get the top coat on. Country Chic is a clay-based paint, and it takes very few layers for full coverage, so this only required 2. For the protective coat, I used Country Chic's top coat in the satin finish. I made sure to give this 3 good coats since it's going to be a desk and will have plenty of use on the top.
Oh, we're not done yet. I'm going to take some of this Gilding wax by Dixie Belle. It is gold, and I've got it on a little lid here, so it's a little more user-friendly. And I'm going to do a little gold design sort of crawling up the legs of this desk, just to sort of buy into that more like princessy, Disney, Beauty and the Beast sort of feel. That's what I envision for this one, so let's see if I can make it happen. I'm taking one of my larger wax brushes to sort of work this up the legs, and we'll mess with it from there. I do have some thicker ones with thicker packed bristles and some chip brushes that I can use to sort of fan it out if I need to, but I'm going to get into this a little bit and see how it pans out.
I started out with the wax brush, but I ended up using a few different brushes just to make sure I got the gilding wax exactly where I needed it to be on these feet. It is important that I sealed this first with the top coat because that means that my gilding wax is not going to adhere to this chalky paint as much as it normally would. That top coat on the top allows this wax to glide a lot easier, and that way it gets exactly where I want it to go without sort of like smudging and just staying in place.
I had originally ordered these knobs for this piece, but I kept having this like sneaky suspicion to get the legs done first before I put the knobs on. And I'm really glad I did, because now I don't like these at all. They don't go with the gold feet. They've got little silver buttons on the inside. I don't know what I was thinking. These are not going to work. They don't fit the style of this piece whatsoever. So I'm going back to the old knobs that came with this. They're not my favorite either, but I'm in a time crunch because, well, you all want to see this video. So I'm just going to clean up the old knobs and probably do a little bit of that rub and buff of the gold that I put on the legs just to make them blend a little bit better. And we're just gonna have to go with that today because I don't have another option. But I would love to put something more fancy on this, and maybe I'll have to revisit it if it doesn't sell quickly enough. But we're gonna work with what we have today.
I re-drilled the old knob holes. Yep, I just took out all that wood fill that I put in the beginning, cleaned up these old handles, and they actually polished up really nicely. I'm pretty happy with this choice right now. Used a little bit of that gold gilding wax on these so it matched the feet perfectly and got them installed. Let me know in the comments below if you think this was a good move. Should I go for something a little more fancy, or does this fit the bill? Let's take one last look at this garage sale find. It was in great shape and I was so thrilled to stumble upon this, and it was for a great price. Now let's look at our after. I love the light blush pink color. I'm still shocked that those knobs ended up being such a great fit after all. They just needed a little bit of cleaning, who knew? But I'm really head over heels about those feet on this desk. Using a few different brushes and that gilding wax allowed me to create a dip gold feeling with a light feathering around the tops, which is just what I was going for. And it was actually super simple to do. If I decide to keep this, I'll definitely add some decorative drawer liners for a little extra layer of fancy. You all will have to let me know what you think about this creation in the comments below. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. I have so much fun on this channel showing you the pieces that I create for sale each and every week. Next week's piece is already rolling in, so be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a flip, and I'll see you next time on Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.